welcome to YesUsers Podcast, where we dive deep into the mind of trailblazers and innovators who are shaping the future of technology and entrepreneurship. Today, we are thrilled to have a truly remarkable guest with us, Diwakar Thakore. Diwakar sir is an accomplished entrepreneur, mentor, and advisor to startups. His journey through the tech world is nothing short of inspiring. So get ready for an amazing conversation as we explore his remarkable career, insights, and passion for nurturing the next generation of innovators. So Diwakar sir, welcome to YesUsers Podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Avinash, for having me on the podcast.
Trust me, it's completely our pleasure. So tell us, how are things going with you these days?
It's fine. I've been doing a lot of work right now. The current focus is on making a decentralized social impact marketplace in a company called Redeem Technologies, which is based out of Edinburgh, Scotland. And we are also working out of Foundership HQ, which is accelerator out of Dubai.
Yeah. So you have a very international experience. So tell us about your journey, right? I understand that you're currently staying in Scotland, right? It has been close to 20 years, right? So tell us how journey started. What was the thinking back there, and how were things panning out?
Okay, so actually, I am a sort of an accidental entrepreneur.
Okay.
It was never planned. I did my MBA from University of Edinburgh in 1996. Prior to that, I was a chartered accountant and a cost accountant from India. But since then, I've been doing a lot of consulting work out of Asia and out of India as well. But around 2005, if I remember it correctly, that moment came when I was in London with my wife, who was studying earthquake engineering there. And due to my curiosity, I registered myself at the University of Edinburgh's Entrepreneur Club as an MBA alumni, where I met these passionate techies called Dr. Ledner and Dr. Zurowski. Now, they had big dreams in mobile search technology, and I saw the potential to commercialize them, the research, and I jumped on board as a business developer. So eventually becoming its founder and CEO, and that's how my entrepreneur journey started.
Quite a fascinating journey. I can completely relate to your story. So this is a situation where I find myself a lot. That we didn't have a technical training, right? But the business that we run is mostly technical in nature, right?
Okay.
So I'm lawyer by training, just FYI.
Okay.
So I discovered when you created a course on ChatGPT for lawyers, that's the first time I discovered you.
All right.
Right. So we discussed that a little late. So tell us about that. When you are a business graduate, right? And you run a technical business. So how is that transition? How do you get acquainted with the technical concepts, and what is your approach?
So basically what I do is generally I take the technical inputs from technical founders and try to present a case for its commercialization or industrialization in the real world scenarios. That's how I try to transition it from a purely lab work into a case where it is used by many people, and it creates an impact in the society.
Well said. And do you think coming from a non-technical background actually gives you an edge, because you are able to think from a layman's perspective? How is this benefit me? Because I have a lot of interaction with engineers, so they want to work on some technology because it's interesting, and it has it's cool, right? With that technology, has a lot of potential, but a lot of times it doesn't have a business use case. So come in and say no, we can't work on this. So they're not too happy with that. So do you think coming from a non-technical background gives you...
Yeah, it generally helps, because in the sense that, being from a non-technical background, I look at as an ethnographic experience. So basically what I do is try to see whether that technical, whatever revolution, which usually, most of the technical guys will say that, they have got a revolutionary tech. But that revolutionary tech should actually do some impact on the society. It should help someone who is basically out there in the market and is not technical in nature himself. Basically, it should have a user-centric usage where the user is able to help itself without the rigmaroles of the technical inputs it has.
Great advice there. You have such a vast experience and you have worked on so many cutting edge technologies. Like which project or technology stands out to you the most and why?
What I would say is that most of the project and technologies that would have a significant social impact, that stands out. Whether it's leveraging emotional AI for mental health apps or developing AI-powered chatbots for accessibility or building a decentralized social impact marketplace like Redeem right now. I'm fascinated by technologies that have the potential to positively transform society.
Great. Yeah, completely makes sense. So this concept of emotion engineering,
Yeah.
right? Emotional engineering in AI is not a very well-known concept. So would you care to explain this for our listeners?
Okay. Now, emotion engineering actually is a understanding and modeling of the human emotions. So these are technologies that can be perceived, interpreted, and that can respond to human emotional states. So suppose you prioritize conducting thorough research and you collaborate with psychologists, sociologists, experts in human behavior and gain insights into the complexities of the emotion and use those stuff and mix it with the technical inputs and try to make a product which basically can visualize how a human emotion works and then cater to it. That's what is the human emotion-based engineering.
Wow. So is there any memorable project or startup that you worked on using this technology, had a greater impact later on?
Actually, what we did when we started with a company called Musemantik, which we still do lots of projects in that company, we're using emotion engineering for developing games. So in Scotland, it's the mecca of games. So there are lots of companies who do all this game design. And what we were trying to do was using emotion technology into making those games respond to human gamers' emotions. That's what we were trying to do. But later on, we tried to use this same emotion AI and emotion technology into making sort of a music app, which was going to help mental health patients. So using a mental health app, which we had named as Soul Light, and there using colors and music as an emotional trigger was the intent of helping the mental health affected people. It went on to be quite a successful project.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. Now coming to the point of how we were introduced to each other, that, I was looking at a lot of courses for lawyers, and that's where I found one of your courses on Udemy. One question that I'll ask, which is being asked to me a lot by a lot of entrepreneurs, is that whenever you serve an industry, you want to become a thought leader in that, right? So,
Exactly.
we are writing blogs, we are creating videos. Should we also create a course on this in Udemy? Because you have experience in this area. So tell us, creating a course on ChatGPT for law, how does that resulted in, getting clients and becoming a thought leader in that particular niche?
So my interest with legal tech started when I was doing another of my companies called Dhiyantra Limited, where it was, I think, one of the hackathons organized by the Law Society of Scotland in Glasgow. And therein, what happened was, since we were a technical company, an AI and robotic processing company, we were asked to help the legal minds there and team up with them and try to build something which is partially on AI and partially to do with legal stuff. So what we did was, there were a thing called the small business claim, which is a lot of energy goes into that for legal professionals in Scotland. So what we did was, it has got a whole lot of legal terminologies, legal nuances. We made a legal chatbot which would help users to basically replace the lawyers in the initial stages. It not only replaced the lawyers, but it could manage to file a small business claim on behalf of the client, all by itself, without the help of any legal human mind. So it was that powerful. So that created awareness for me that, we can do something great while involving or interpressing legal aspects with the power of AI and technology.
Wow. It's a great use case. So in your journey, did you ever had build products for the lawyers themselves? Like in this case, you were building legal tech products
Yeah.
for the general public. But have you ever created products or services to lawyers themselves?
Not yet, but I know of several products in the market which are catered specifically for lawyers.
Yeah, absolutely. But do you have any experience about the reluctance? Like lawyers usually all across the world are quite reluctant to adopt technology. Have you experienced this type of behavior in the past?
Absolutely, absolutely. Lawyers still live in a world where they don't want to touch technology even very well barge pole. So it's that they are so far away from anything to do with technical stuff. And that is the reason we will find that there are almost an equal number of AI enthusiasts in my legal courses rather than being 100% lawyers who own the course.
Absolutely. But, I wanted to come back and ask the question, does creating a course on Udemy has helped you, in some way landing more clients and generating more business for your venture?
What it happens is that, any course on the Udemy, there are many students who come. And not only that, one of my courses, which is on legal tech and AI, is also now being used by business professionals. So companies like Adidas, Barclays, and all those big MNCs, they're using my course for their professionals as well. So sometimes among them, if there is an interest, they contact me that, could you help me out in building something X, Y, Z? And through that, obviously, there would be a client contact. At least a stepping stone.
Right. Very interesting. So, of course, you have been in this industry for such a long time. I'm sorry if I'm making you feel old.
Yeah. No problem.
So, you have seen a lot of revolutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I understand, you were there when, emails were just starting to pick up, right?
Mm-hmm.
In enterprise.
Yeah. So, we were on Netscape then.
Right, exactly. A lot of people don't even remember that, a browser needed a separate email client. Right?
Exactly.
Somebody who has used only Gmail, it's difficult to make them understand why that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
Be it as it may, you have seen so many, so-called revolutions coming in terms of technology.
Yeah.
Looking at generative AI and its potential, it's a true revolution, technology or game changer, or is it just another hoax?
It's a game changer in the sense that previous to this, hardly any technology was there which could shift into massive databases. Now, this is, they are into large language models, which was unthought of during even 10 years back. A decade back, it was impossible to shift through such a massive database, which they are able to do it now. I remember when we were in one of my earlier companies, Linguit, we were doing exactly similar things which people are now doing on ChatGPT, but it was a separate large language model just based on a book which was used by space technology engineers. So we had just converted the book as a large language model, and then those who are in the space, they would be able to actually query those chatbot and try to get the answers to repairing those space systems. So it was such a niche area, which is now they have made it almost ubiquitous. Like, it's not only ChatGPT, Bard, Gemini, I don't know. There are millions now.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with you. So tell us about what is your favorite use case of implementing generative AI in legal profession?
So since I deal with startups most of the time, the favorite use case is previously for an NDA. Even during my early days as an entrepreneur, I remember going to lawyers and then hearing the amounts they would quote for a simple non-disclosure agreement, which is just, every startup person would like to have an NDA agreement to be given out to one of their colleagues that, being a co-founder, you should not reveal this to XYZ. There should not be any competition, blah, blah, standard clauses. But the amount of money that the lawyers asked was like humongous. And what happened was we were in the mercy of, either trying to bribe our way through, please do it, or basically trying to rip it off of some other company and then making the changes of ourselves. So we were in that. Now with generative AI, not only NDAs, with a click of a button and with the right prompts, you can generate almost any type of contract agreements, any type of things which the startup needs. Even trying to understand how to launch a company, that can all be done through simple ChatGPT, not even the advanced one.
Right, absolutely. So tell us about what other use cases for generative AI you find most promising.
So I told about the contract generations. Right. I told about how it can help in doing your legal briefs and memos. Legal research is another big thing which can be easily done through generative AI. I like how even with a simple ChatGPT, you can do a very good case law analysis. If you find that, my intellectual property is being transgressed by XYZ, so what should I do? So I just give me a case which is very similar to my nature. I give them the correct prompts, and by a click, it gives me, these are obviously you have to get a reference to from a human that, it's not made up. But generally it is not made up. 9 out of 10 cases is not made up, but of course, there is a tendency of these LLMs to even not only make up the cases, they even name the courts which is non-existent. So that is an issue, still an issue. Another thing is the precedent identification. Right. So it's very easy, you just give the prompt and you say that, what's the precedence for such a such thing. And it just tells you, these are the 7 or 8 precedents in the order. You can even give them, no, I want it for the Indian jurisdiction. It will try to give you, these are 4 from the Indian jurisdiction. These are some of the things which readily it comes to my mind now. Yeah,
absolutely. Couldn't agree more with you. So the thing that I wanted to ask, because you deal with a lot of startups, right? Improving their legal workflows and reducing costs, right? What are the other areas like marketing, operations? What are the other areas where young entrepreneurs can leverage generative AI? Is there any specific use case that really excites you?
Some of the generative AI, which is specifically for doing the pitch deck. I remember when we were doing the pitch deck, what we used to do was to look at other startups and other companies and then try to copy their methods and how they were able to get the funds, what sort of pitching they used to do. But now there are specific generative AI pitch which helps entrepreneurs in making a beautiful pitch deck. Not only beautiful pitch deck, we struggled with getting the appropriate photographs and appropriate illustrations, even diagrams. But nowadays, ChatGPT even gives you a diagram in minutes. You just give the text that, I want X, Y, Z on this side. I want something on the right-hand side. And it gives you all these things. So this is one of the very good use case.
Wow, completely agreed. And in your post, you have emphasized upon the content-focused approach in your teaching, right? How do you make sure that the content that you're creating is high quality and stays relevant for your learners?
For the content, generally, what I do is that primarily the basic source should be credible enough for the content. So what we do is that the content should be very researched. Sources must be credible. It must be having the historical context or the expert opinion. And most of all, the viewpoint should be balanced, especially if it is contentious issues, because the need is to do a well-rounded understanding of the subject. So that's how I approach the content part of it.
Wow. Great advice there. And, because a lot of entrepreneurs come to me and say, what should we do? How can we, be better at, content marketing on course and not becoming a thought leader? See, that is very simple.
No, for that, what I say is that, for the thought leader, the thing is that you should try to write the blog or give the YouTube videos, viewpoints, either on your work and expertise which is basically if you are doing blockchain or decentralization or crypto economics, tech, startups, then you should focus on that. But the real thing comes when you mix it with your passion and purpose. Suppose you would say that, okay, I would like to do social impact, society and sustainability. Then try to do the crossover between something like decentralization for social impact or blockchain for a sustainable society. Then your content becomes even much more purposeful.
Wow. That's really interesting. And, this is what I was coming to, is that, how do you figure out what to write? Because everybody says that create good quality content. The tip that you gave, mixing their expertise with their passion. That's a great advice.
Yeah.
Completely agree. In addition to this, is there any technique which you can give us or any insight there, which helps a founder decide, okay, what are the areas, what are the topics we should be writing on?
The first thing is to go to Google Trends, find out what is the niche, because most of the times there are so many topics on the net, it gets lost. So unless you write on the niche on the given day, because the niche changes, because tomorrow if you go to the trends, it might be something else. So the first thing you should do is go to the trends, get the niche, and then only start your research of whatever you are trying to do. And for me, it was, I come with the topic first and then what exactly I'm going to put into the topic. But it works the other way around as well.
Yeah, great advice there. And the way technology changes so quickly, even just a couple of years back, SEO was a very important aspect of content.
Yeah.
But the way technology is changing now, SEO is just not enough, right?
No.
Because what is happening is more and more people are shifting to AI searches, right? So more people are searching on ChatGPT for questions. Even if now, if you put in a simple query, a lot of times Google will give you the gist of the results, right? That is, it's going to show that so that the users don't have to, go and waste their time in clicking and finding out the information, right?
Exactly.
So now what is happening is just SEO is not enough. Everybody has to now also do LSO, which stands for LLM Search Engine Optimization.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now whether your content is actually getting featured in the LLM search results, that is becoming much more important.
Right.
America is no longer important. So there's this startup called Get AI Monitor, which is doing great job there. So that's what I would say. We just Google searches which people are putting in is a great point to share, but also kind of look at what now people are putting in AI search engines, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You have a good point. Yeah, definitely.
So correlate those two information, because obviously Google searches are not going away anytime soon, but it's gonna die a slow death. That's just
exactly. Yeah.
And now one of the great things that I recently discovered is that because LSO is so new, right? It's relatively easy right now. So you might remember, search engine optimization in early 2000. It was
right.
Right? Anybody could do it. So that's the same case with LSO now, because he's not doing it. It's so easy. And the beauty of it is that I think it's a great resetter, right? Because now what is happening, the terms are now so dominated by large enterprises and incumbents, newcomers just don't have a
chance
of succeeding in that. But because of this coming in, it's a great resetter. People who were 20, 25 in the search engine result page are now able to get featured in the LSO if they obviously work
LSO.
So
right.
Pay attention to this, right? If you're coming into play the SEO game, but understand it's a dying.
Yeah.
LSO is now going
the
next decade, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. That's a great thing for me as well to know that LSO is coming up. It's a new trend.
Yeah, it's a new trend, and So it's up to my next question: how do you stay updated, right, with all the relevant changes that is happening in the technology, right? Because technology space moves really fast, right? So as a founder, as a CEO, as a mentor, what is your strategy to staying updated on relevant and, recent changes?
Continuous learning. I make courses, but I do take courses as well.
Right.
Sometimes what happens is that, attend a workshop and then you find out, okay, this is something very new. I have no idea what does this mean. And then you come back and then try to search on the ChatGPT or previous to that, obviously the Google, And okay, there's a good course available. And you will sometimes find that, these courses are available at obscure places. Somewhere I recently discovered something called the social impact measurement, which takes place with Social Value UK. And I enrolled in their program. So it was a distant thing to me. But no, when I was in London, I enrolled in their program and try to understand, that how they give an accounting value to social impact. And through that, I got the idea of incorporating that in our decentralized social impact marketplace for impact measurement.
Wow.
So that's how you do it. And obviously, following industry news, professional communities do help, attending conferences, meetups. Now we have for Redeem, prior to Redeem, in fact, before we do the decentralized marketplace, we actually started the Blockchain Scotland, which has now become very big up in Scotland, which is, I think, the largest blockchain meetup in the whole of Europe. So that's how you keep current.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So, Diwakar sir, are you ready for a rapid fire round? You have to answer the questions very quickly.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Lukewarm response, I must say. But let's start. First question is, what is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
Okay. Contentment is the key to fulfilling life. Happiness is a journey, never a destination.
Absolutely. Very, very wise words there. So, name one technology you think will have the biggest impact in the next decade.
Applied artificial intelligence.
Wow. So, would you give it like a very short description of what is applied AI?
So, artificial intelligence, everybody knows. But if it is applied for anything which is good for the society, because obviously artificial intelligence, just like the nuclear bomb, can be put into a very ugly usage. So if it is good for the society and it helps the common man, then it is really an applied artificial intelligence.
The next question is, what's your favorite book on entrepreneurship or technology?
So here I would just maybe go off the course, though there are many good books of entrepreneurship, but I would say the Bhagavad Gita.
No.
Because of the timeless lessons on leadership, ethical decision-making, focus on journey, not worrying about the outcomes, very necessary for entrepreneurs.
Well said. The next question is, if you could mentor any historical figure, he or she may be dead or alive, doesn't matter, who would it be and why?
That's a tough question. Maybe Srinivas Ramanujan, that famous mathematician. He was actually an untapped genius. Maybe mentoring him would be a history-altering experience.
Great answer. I couldn't agree more. So now the next question is, in your opinion, what is the one skill every entrepreneur must have?
The readiness to embrace failure.
Great answer. Blockchain or AI, which do you find more exciting?
Both. Because combining the strengths of both technologies can unlock powerful solutions.
Very diplomatic answer.
Yeah, because I am working on both.
I know. That's why I asked you. We have to choose.
Yeah.
So, in one word, how would you describe the future of tech?
Transformative.
Okay, great answer. So, the last rapid fire question is, what is your favorite place to find inspiration? It can be a physical place, it can be a metaphysical space, like, best place to go.
Oh, okay. Within. It's within yourself.
Right. So do you think, when you're struggling a problem, taking a couple of days off is a good idea? Some people think it's a good idea. Some people it doesn't really make any difference.
I am all for vacations. I am all for vacations. Given the slightest of opportunity, I run off to the mountains and sometimes to the sea, and sometimes not only it's just meandering on the streets of even Mumbai. Sometimes the inspiration can come from somewhere, maybe sipping dab.
Absolutely. So Diwakar sir, thanks a lot for coming on the podcast and sharing your story and insights. It was a beautiful experience.
Thanks a lot for having me. It's been a pleasure.
That wraps up our enlightening conversation with Diwakar sir. From his incredible journey in tech and mentorship to his innovative ventures and published insights, Diwakar sir has shared a wealth of knowledge with us today. We hope you have enjoyed this episode and gained valuable takeaways to fuel your own entrepreneurial dreams. If you are as excited as we are about the future of technology and startups, don't forget to follow Diwakar sirs on LinkedIn and also YesUsers on various social media platforms. I'll put the relevant links in the description. Thanks to our listeners for their dedicated support and love. This is your host, Avinash Tripathi, and until next time, keep innovating and stay inspired.